Alright, hello everyone. So today I wanted to go over the notes that we did on either August the 25th or the 26th, depending on what period you're in. So this was a foldable that I had you put in your notebooks. I'll post the link post the file for this as well if you'd like. But yeah, so we just went over these top 4 pieces. We kind of skipped over the and the or part, and that's only because we're going to talk about it more in depth next week. So I didn't want to make it too confusing before we got there. So make this a little bit bigger so we could see what we are looking at. So we are going over inequalities, and that's basically just the signs for inequalities and what they mean. So in meaning not, inequality meaning equal. So none of these are going to be just our standard equal sign, but they're going to kind of function the same way. All right, so let's take a closer look at the less than box first. Okay, so eventually after this, we are going to start solving inequalities. I just wanted to show you what they meant and how to graph them on a number line first before we got there. So let's talk about the first one we have here. We have less than. Less than. So that's going to be this sign here. All right. Usually with these, you would go from left to right, like reading a book. So it's less than because it starts with the smaller side first. So this is going to say x is less than 1. So that means that any solution or any number that's less than 1 can work as a solution for us. Usually we get something like x equals 5 or x equals 2 or whatever number, and that tells us that that one number will work as a solution. But in this case, there is more than one solution, so more than one number could possibly work for us. All right, so down at the bottom here, we have a number line. So this number line is going to show us visually what this statement means. So I'm going to show you how to do that first. So usually when we have our number line, we're going to start with the number that they give. For us, that's going to be 1. So I'm going to put a 1 down here, right in the middle of my number line. All right. Then we need to show which side is smaller and which side is bigger. Now, usually you do that by putting in smaller numbers and bigger numbers. For every single number line you'll see, the left side will be the small side. So I'm going to start filling that in with numbers that are smaller than 1. So the next smallest after 1 is going to be 0, and then after that is going to be -1, showing that this direction, that the left direction, is smaller. Alrighty, so let's do the right side. That is going to be our larger side. So the numbers going on this side are going to be bigger and gradually get larger as we go on. So a number bigger than 1 is going to be 2. After that is going to be 3, and then so on and so forth. All right, so we got our numbers down. Now we need to mark them to show the statement that we have. So we're going to start at 1. We're going to put a circle there. Now, the circle at the top of your page here is going to show you what kind of circle you should have if you have a less than statement. If it's a less than, you're going to have an open circle, just like I drew here. Okay? And then we're also going to show which direction we have to go in. So this statement says that it's going to be less than. We have it pointing in this direction. So that's the direction we're going to fill in on our number line over here. I am going to put in the arrow, and we're going to bold or highlight this side of our number line to show that we can go, or that we need to go, in the smaller direction. Okay. Cool. So that's about it for that. We also were talking about different synonyms for less than, like smaller, or we also said fewer, or menos / menor, whichever one works. Just as long as you know that this sign means less than. That's what we were getting at. Okay, that's less than. Let's take a look at greater than, which is right over here. Okay, greater than works a lot similar to less than. The only difference is that it goes the other way. So, just like I said, it's just like if you're reading a book, you're going to go with the left side first. Since the bigger side is over here, this is greater than. Okay, so reading out this statement, this says x is greater than -2. So if we go in with our number line, we're going to start the same way we did with the last one. We're going to start at -2. All right, now one side needs to be smaller and the other needs to be bigger. Remember, the left side is always going to be the smaller side. So a number that's less than -2, -3, and then -4. All right. Then going to the bigger side, or the greater side, we're going with -2. Next biggest number after that is -1, and then 0. So that way we're approaching the bigger numbers. All right. So just like with our less than, we're going to start with a circle. Remember, at the top of your page here, right here, that's going to tell you what kind of circle you need for a greater than symbol. You'll notice that both the greater than and less than circles are not filled in. That's going to mean that the number you have is not available to be a solution for us. So you can get as close to -2 as you want, but it still has to be bigger than that. So -2.4 could work, but not -2 exactly, if that makes sense to us. Okay, moving on. So we are going to have greater than here. So we have x is greater than -2. So I need my arrow to go in the same direction as our inequality sign. That means we are going to go in this direction, showing that we're going to the greater side. This is the side where the numbers get bigger. So we could also say x is bigger than -2. We could say it's larger. We could say it's more than -2. We could also say más. That is up to you. But just so you know, this is a sign that means that it's greater. All right. Now, those are the top two. Notice that the top two here both have the open circle. It is not filled in. The bottom two that we're about to talk about have filled in circles. That is going to be the difference here. So let's talk about less than or equal to. All right, so that or equal to part is given to us by the line that's underneath this thing. That line says or equal to. The signs on top are just going to stay exactly the same as what they meant up there. Less than or equal to. All right, so these are also going to be very similar when you graph them. So I'm going to start at 1, The smaller numbers are going to go to the left. Bigger numbers are going to go to the right. And then you need a circle. Like I said before, this circle is different. This circle is filled in. And that's because of this or equal to line. So let's fill it in. All right. Now we need to show which direction we're going in. Now this is going to be a less than, so I'm going to go in the smaller direction towards the smaller numbers. That's going to be this side. We're going to fill it in, bold it, highlight it, whatever you need to do. You are showing visually that our solutions are smaller than 1. All right, let's take a look at greater than or equal to. Surprise, surprise, it's gonna be very similar. So we got our greater than or equal to here. Once again, we have a filled in circle at the top there. And once again, we're gonna start out with the number that they gave us in our number line. We're gonna go with the smaller numbers on the left side, bigger numbers on the right side, and then go in with our circle. This one's also going to be filled in, and once again, that's because of that or equal to line beneath our sign here. All right, so this is going to be greater than or equal to, so I need to go in the greater direction. That's the same direction that our inequality is pointing, so this way. We're just going to bold it up. Fill it in so that we can show which direction we are going in for our solutions. X is greater than or equal to -2. That is what our graph and our statement is telling us right now. Alrighty, so that is how to graph our inequalities. Now, the next video we're going to do, and the next notes we're going to do, will be solving inequalities. So we're going to get to a point where this is our answer, and then we're going to have to graph it too. All right, that's about it. You know how to get to me. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a good day, y'all.